Hey guys, it's your boy Chris. Today on Outer Space we're going to review a figure art, but we have a special guest today, so let's get started. Intro sequence. We're reviewing toys. I know it's a surprise that we review anything on this channel, but today we're going to review a figure art. But I'm not going to do it just by myself because you're obviously getting sick of seeing this ugly face. So we're going to bring in a prettier face. So today's guest is CB Studios. So I got my guest here, CB Studios. You may have seen him on the Instagrams, yes, or even at the cosplay McJiggers. So we got him dressed up as Dr. Strange, but why, you ask? Well, because we're going to be reviewing the Dr. Strange S.H. figure arts from the Avengers Endgame
and
Infinity War. That is correct.
What am I telling them? I am a cosplayer, I am a massive fan of Marvel, and I am a massive fan of action figures. And so when I was gifted the Dr. Strange figure, the idea for this crossover episode came to fruition.
So first of all, Dr. Strangelove was a movie from 1964. It's also known as Or How I Learned to Love the Infinity Stones.
I don't think any of that was correct.
Let me just... So, Dr. Strange... So in 2016, the Doctor Strange movie came out.
It did.
It did. First place in the world that received it was actually Hong Kong.
I did not know that because I don't live in Hong Kong.
Anyway, so Doctor Strange came out in 2016. He then was in Thor Ragnarok for maybe a few minutes.
Yes, which is true.
My name is Dr. Stephen Strange, and I have some questions for you.
His costume changed a little bit. He was wearing, brown leather gloves?
There is a different version of the costume that's at the end of Doctor Strange, in that final just before the credits. And that's the one that you see in Ragnarok. It's a totally different chest piece. He's got big brown leather gloves. He's got different belts. The cape is still the same. The Eye of Agamotto is still the same. But then that costume got changed back to his standard Doctor Strange costume for Avengers Infinity War. Because I don't know why.
Then we had the Avengers Infinity War come out. And today's episode, as we keep crapping on about, will be the Avengers Infinity War Doctor Strange figure.
One of the weird things about this is they have decided to give him gloves, fingerless gloves, which you do not see him wear at all in any of the Marvel films. So it's the equivalent of Malibu Stacy having a new hat.
CB has one. I also have one. So why not both? So anyway, what we're going to do for this, we're going to open them up, have a look at them, review them, and then we're going to do a pose off. So 3 different poses as per Director-san, and then we're going to find out who the winner is. But before we go any further, today's prizes for the winner is going to be... So we actually have the Tamashi stage, Avengers Endgame stage. But then our runner-up will go home with the Marvel one.
Which is also very, very nice.
I would rather it maybe saying Endgame on it because it is from Endgame. Well, from Infinity.
From Infinity,
but he was in Endgame, but get your own channel. So without further glue, let's get into this.
Let's get to the unboxing. Oh, yeah.
So you will notice they're actually... The front of the covers are actually different. Reason is, this one, originally released in April 2018. Mine was a re-release from February 2020. So they both actually retail for $6,600. But during the gap right here between when this one was released and this one was re-released, this figure did go for upwards of 15,000 yen. So as of this current economic crisis, blah, 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 dollar, that would be just... It'd be almost $200.
So an interesting point of fact is I normally collect 1/6 figures. And the Figuarts I have bought on and off just sporadically whenever I was in Japan and wanted to buy cool action figures. And Chris has gotten me into these, saying that they were much cheaper than Hot Toys pricing. And, you get more bang for your buck because it's smaller and the price is less. And it's much easier to display. And he's just proven himself to be a dirty liar because $200 is getting to Hot Toys pricing.
So one other good thing about what they're currently doing with the figure arts line when it comes to real actors instead of like anime or even TV shows. They actually digitally print the face. They use digital paint. They'll scan the face and then they'll print that paint right onto it, so it looks more accurate instead of just someone hand sculpting. Freehand.
Much more consistent paint jobs across the line and across the range of figures, so you don't have to try and find one that looks really good. They all look really good straight out of the box.
That's true. Because then you got, for example, we've posted here, you got the Thor from Avengers, the first Avengers movie, where it doesn't really look like Chris Hemsworth. It looks more like just some random...
Bright yellow hair, bright white and blue eyes. Very strange.
And his eyes are just like...
Yeah. He's been on the narcotics.
Yeah.
All right, we ready to Ragnarok and roll?
We are. Well, let's go.
It's a really nice print on this. Very nice, very crisp, very clean. And it is flexible, so you can be... Now we release them from their plasticky prisons. So there is a piece of plastic that braces his legs, as always. So the packaging on this is really nice.
And you got the plastic behind him also in between the cape segments, just so if they were stored for a long time, the paints won't either get stuck to it. But also it comes with two little holders for your portals. Look at that.
So the cape on this one is really, really nice. That's the first thing you're going to notice, is that it is a sculpted cape. It's not one piece, it's actually multiple pieces. There's 3 and then the collar section. Okay, so we're hinge mounted and then there are 2 pins. So it's not actually connected to the collar at all, which is quite interesting. One thing I did notice is that the inside of the cape does not have the cape, the patchwork printing, or the patchwork fabric that would be on the inside of the cape.
Well, I guess you only get one. You get...
See? That sort of thing. It should have that. Which is not on the inside of this, but obviously trying to do that on a 3-dimensional piece like this with the dynamics that it's got is going to be very difficult to do.
Tamashii Nations originally just used to give you one cape. It was static. It would just be like that. For example, you got the Kamen Rider Eternal figure, where it just came with a cape. You could not pose it. You could not make him do jumps and do all that things. But then also recently they started giving a cloth cape with them with the wire in it, so you could actually pose it. So a bit weird why they didn't do that, but it's probably because they're just reusing the mold from the 2017 Dr Strange release.
Like, comment, subscribe if you think that I've got...
This episode is sponsored by Corona.
Yeah. But the underlayers are all properly sculpted. All of the details are represented there as they should be. And that goes double for the boots as well, which are really nicely sculpted, and you've got a fair amount of articulation in them as well.
So yeah, this is what you would expect from something that you're paying over like around $100 for now. So now, as stated before, we're going to do 3 different poses for our characters. Director Sign has chosen 3. So for the first round, what's going to happen is we're both going to get a copy of the picture and we have to duplicate it. Second one, we're given the photo each to look at for 5 seconds, and then we have to duplicate that. And then third round, it's going to be described to us. We're going to do our interpretation of what the pose looks like. Now let us divide and conquer. Let's go. So round 1, Director Sign, pictures, please. Oh, there's 2. Oh, ooh. And
go.
We begin.
Oh no, he's lost a hand!
Stand up.
2, 1, and release.
I think his head leans a little
Chris
too left.
looks so wonky. He's leaning on his cape.
Yeah. That's what he does in the movie. Basically leans on the cape. The cape is the true hero.
Have you ever actually seen an Avengers film? No, see that? There we go. Look at that. I nailed it.
Oh my god,
Okay,
he's
so
a
good.
genius.
Release picture and
Well, that
Alright,
was
now.
judgy.
Now it's my turn. And ta-da!
She Nations.
Haha. Please, Tamashii Nations, give us money.
Me bad want money now, Mr. Burns. It's Kearns! Disregard. We both suck.
I'm sorry, Chris, you lose this round.
Aw. I don't work well under pressure. Not
To
as...
be fair, he does look like he's trying to diss your fly girl.
So, we're going to move on to round 2. So, it's 1-0. 1 to Kurt, nothing for me.
You are nothing.
Ah, oof. Anyway, we're going to move on to round 2. We're going to look at it for 5 seconds each, and then we have to replicate it within the 2 minutes given. And Hajime. Okay. Oh, all right. And time starts now.
They're not toys, Mom. They're action figures.
Aspiration figures.
What?
Uh-oh.
God damn it.
5, 4, 3.
Just like they said at the orphanage when they looked at me, good enough.
Ooh,
Self-burn.
those are rare.
All right, so let's break down the wall and see what we got. Oh, that's a good placement of it.
Yeah, it was the only thing I could think of. It just
mine
needs
was
to
just like,
balance it.
All right, so let's get our things. Director San, if you could. The only inaccuracy is he's not wearing. Notice that his hand is pointed that way while that one's pointed up.
Yes, but notice that my spell disc is in front of the chest as opposed to being up in the air.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Chris gets this.
Yay!
He wins round.
Round 2 goes to me.
Technicality.
Now we are on to round 3.
This is big brain time.
Big brain time. So this round, it's going to be described to us, and then at the end of the round we will see what the picture is, and whoever is closest to it is the winner.
Oh.
Just remember, today's prizes include the Tamashi Act.
Oh.
Marvel Stage.
Well, it did
I'm
until
good
it
at
broke
this.
it.
It's now broken, so sucks to be you.
It's not that much of a prize.
And the winner will receive the Avengers Endgame version. Lovely.
I do like that the base comes apart. It's got place for your
Yeah.
accessories and bits underneath it too.
Okay. Picture. Avengers Infinity War. You with me? Cool.
Somewhat.
You are picturing what the future may hold, and bonus points for levitating.
Okay.
Us levitating or the figure?
Oh!
I mean,
Hey!
bonus points for
Either
the
way,
figure.
if we
Extra
levitate, we'll
points.
definitely get the extra points then.
Yes, indeed.
Bonus points for you levitating as well.
Right.
Ooh.
Cool.
Alright, Assistant Chan, when you're ready, let's do this. So 3, 2, 1.
One thing I will say is this cape is kind of weird. It is a very rigid plastic compared to the rest of the figure, which is quite strange.
I think we're ready to go.
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Oh, wait.
1.
No.
To be fair, if you had a giant plastic arm up your back side, wouldn't you be bewildered?
Oh, blubber whale.
The only reason I was able to get it to do this is because I didn't have the tickler coming up underneath.
Now, we'll give this one to Kurt.
Yeah. Because he had his hand placement.
Yeah.
Technically, the hand placement is correct. So, CB Studios is our winner. Yay! So, he's going to go home with the Tamashi Stage Avengers Endgame.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's for you to display with your Captain Marvel. I mean, wow.
I think it's actually going to go with my Iron Man.
That would be great too.
I do have my Mark IV Iron Man, which is really, really nice, with hungover Tony Stark head, which is great, because everybody likes some hungover Tony Stark head.
That is true. And he has donuts.
Yes.
And I get to go home with the Marvel one. It's like, but you are home. That was fast. What would you give this figure? Ranking out of 10?
I would say for this one, probably at about an 8.5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few posing issues. Why go to so much effort making everything else on this figure just absolutely top notch if you're going to then add gloves? That's kind of weird.
My only gripe for it, I do agree with, is 8.5. The cape, plastic and rubber, it just seems like a weird mix. My prediction would be with the next movie for Doctor Strange, so Doctor Strange and the...
Into the Multiverse of
Madness. I believe they will probably go that next step and give him the wired cape, so just for a better flowability. Maybe he might have a different costume. Who knows? They're probably about to start filming. If
I would say they'll get a different costume with that.
Yeah.
They won't use the same costume for 4 movies. That's weird. That's very weird. But it is rumored to be directed by Sam Raimi.
Yes.
So who knows? We might get a little Bruce Campbell. Please.
I'd like to thank my guest for today's episode, CB Studios.
I'm on Instagram at the CB Studio. I am also on Facebook at facebook.com/CB Studios Cosplay. I do lots of horror and movie cosplays and just random.
So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Remember to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. We're definitely going to get some more guests. Maybe this guy will pop up in some future episodes. Who knows? Depends.
Almost certainly.
Almost certainly.
I know where you live.
Han Solo episode, maybe.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some Hasbro stuff that we could review. We've got some Figuarts and Hasbro we could compare.
And I did hear a rumor you might be starting your own YouTube channel.
Perhaps.
So
I have been almost starting a YouTube channel for about 8 years now.
maybe this is the...
Could this be it? Could this global financial crisis be the stepping stone?
think it might be.
To me dicking about on the internet.
You'd watch it, I'd watch it, we'd all watch it. But remember to like and subscribe. So we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks and bye!